took that motor apart, you saw there, everything was extremely dirty. Oil didn't look so great because it was so old. You could tell by everything inside the motor that how dirty it was. Lack of oil changes probably contributed to that. I tanked the engine block just just to get a better look at it, raw, without all that really black oil. That oil gets on things and makes it pretty much impossible to see details that you really need to see, like what I'm about to explain. So I mentioned after taking the motor apart that there were dowels that locate the main caps, and they were bouncing around inside the motor. After I tanked the block, I found out why those dowels had fallen out, and the reason why they fell out is because that block was cracked. I explained the internet likes to say how those motors don't handle a lot of horsepower. That's exactly why. Those main webs, being as thin as they are, they're a major weak point, and that block cracked exactly where everybody on the forums told me they were going to crack. Right on the dowel is where it cracked, and that opened up so there was no more press fit for that dowel to stay anymore, and there's no material behind the dowel to keep it from going out the other side. I guess it would be coming up if you were looking at the motor normally. Main cap's down here, the dowel is in the block. It actually came up out of the block because of the crack that was there. Long story short, that block was totally toast, and it was on its way into breaking into two pieces. Now, I did mention a little bit of main bearing wear on one of the main caps. Edge riding is what I said. That wasn't the case. What was going on there is that particular main cap was the main cap where one of the dowels had been missing, and when that dowel's not there, there's nothing to keep that main cap from moving around. The bolt's there, but there's clearance between the bolt and the bore in the cap. The cap can still move around technically, even if it's tight. That main cap was moving around a little bit, and it caused that weird looking wear on that bearing. So wow. And I had been spraying on this motor for a while as well. I guess I got lucky, you could say. That crack went from the main web up the block, and it was heading straight towards the cam tunnel. Just not good. Not good at all. Had that crack made it all the way up that far, that block would have been one rev away from being in two pieces. So that was good to find out, and made me feel a lot better that we didn't dyno it, because had we dynoed that motor, that could have been it. That could have done the trick. The dyno puts an enormous amount of load on the motor, and that very well could have turned that motor into two pieces, into two 4-cylinders. I mentioned we were going to replace the engine block anyway because of what I heard on the internet. So my friend Austin brought me another engine block, which was a better casting, and after taking that short block apart, I cleaned that block too, and that block looked way better than the 1975 casting block that I had been using, in terms of how much more material there was in the main webs, and other things about the block. It was just a much better casting, and it was actually noticeably heavier too. That's how much more material was in those blocks. So I had that thing cleaned. I was getting ready to set it up to mill the block or deck it, the head gasket surface, and once I got the BHJ fixture on that thing, I took another peek down in there, and wouldn't you know, there was a freaking crack going from the bottom of number 4 cylinder, about an inch long. My luck with Pontiac blocks isn't so great right now. So we are developing a new plan. I will be sharing the new plan with you guys in the next video. But I think you're going to like it. It's going to be very cool. It's going to be very unique. And I've already ordered parts, so there is no turning back. Anyway, stay tuned. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Leave a comment. I'd like to hear from you guys. You know, that I'm interested. Negative or positive, I don't really care. I'll read it. We've got a dyno video up now. This is actually the second video for the channel. This is going to be a multi-part series. We're not just building a motor here, we're building an entire car. So there's going to be a lot of footage here, and if this is something you're interested in, definitely follow along and definitely subscribe. But this isn't everything. There's going to be a lot more content posted. General machining stuff, doing cylinder heads, block work, all kinds of other things that revolve around machining, engine building, making horsepower, engine dynoing stuff. Like I said, we're an engine shop, machine shop. We build motors. We don't work on cars, but we have the ability to. So that's why building my car at the shop